What am I looking for from Forbidden Door 2026? Ultimately, I'm looking for a distraction. I'm looking for a good show. I'm looking to remember why we tune in, why we pay for these events to begin with. I'm looking to be reminded of all that. I'm looking to remember why I got into this in the first place. I'm looking to remember why I desire to keep talking about this, why I desire to keep watching. I'm just looking to enjoy the show and be reminded of the spirit of what this is, and ultimately what this sport brings. Welcome back to another episode of All Elite Weekly here on the 830 Wrestling Network. I am your host, Zachary Morgan, and this is going to be a little bit of a different episode today than what you may be used to. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I'm looking for from Forbidden Door. I feel like it's important to share some details about what's going on in my personal life before I continue with what specifically I'm looking for. My family recently suffered a loss. We are going through the process, whatever that may be. I'm really looking forward to this show. I'm really pulling for Maya World. There's no other way around it. The way that Maya has gotten herself into this position in the wake of her brother's death is nothing short of admirable, and I cannot stress enough how happy I am for her to be on the stage in this moment right now, and I'm really, really pulling for her. I know who she's up against. I know that there's no way that she wins over Mercedes Moné, but there's something to be said here when recently over the last few weeks I've been talking to a few people and someone brought it up. Mercedes Moné's downfall wasn't fully televised, so we didn't really get the full payoff from that, because yes, Willow Nightingale beating her for the TBS championship was part of that payoff, but we could have seen more. We could have seen every single one of those belts, maybe not every one, but we could have seen a lot of them drop on AEW television, thus showing us how far Mercedes truly has fallen. We haven't really seen that yet, and I say that in the sense that maybe, just maybe, what if we had Mercedes Moné fall even further than we thought possible? What if she's not done falling? And I want to believe that Maya World can be going up against Tekla, or maybe Starlight Kid, honestly, for the AEW World Championship at All In. That is what I'm hoping for. I don't think it's likely. I think the more likely thing that we see is Mercedes Moné beating Maya World, maybe not handily, maybe not, I'm hoping not quickly. We've seen Maya World can absolutely hold herself in the ring, so I'm looking forward to seeing that match hopefully go to about, I think they can pull off a solid 15 to 18 minute match, honestly, and I'm hoping to see that. But I really hope Maya World beats the odds. I really do. And maybe it's not likely, but just having all that, having that thought process is something that really excites me about a lot of this card. And to piggyback on something else I was saying there, Tekla's never beaten Starlight Kid. Ever. In singles competition. Wouldn't it be crazy? We saw a lot of wrestlers from New Japan complaining that they're often treated like the, redheaded stepchild to AEW at this event. We've seen countless IWGP titles change hands to AEW wrestlers. We've never seen an AEW title on a New Japan contracted wrestler that wasn't already under contract or planning to be under contract with AEW. That's just a fact. Wouldn't it be crazy if Starlight Kid maintained her undefeated streak against Tekla and became the first person not under contract by AEW to hold an AEW World Championship? Wouldn't that be crazy? And I think it could happen. I'm also looking forward to seeing the men's own final, where Will Ospreay is taking on Swerve Strickland. We got the match. We don't have to riot. I'm really happy because I didn't have the logistics planned out for a riot, and I didn't know how that was going to work out for anyone. That match is going to be something special. I think it's going to be the main event. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland can absolutely tear the house down. And we've seen We've seen this building. This is exactly what we wanted. We know how this is going to go, and that's going to be fine. We know both wrestlers are going to sell it, and I know that at various points we're going to believe that both wrestlers have a real shot at winning this match, both of them. Will Ospreay is winning this match. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because even though this is Will Ospreay's year, you better believe it is Swerve's house right now. It is Swerve's house where I sit, and Swerve's my guy. I would love nothing more than to see him be the guy to take down MJF. But that's not the story we've been building. It's going to be Will Ospreay winning the Men's Owen Hart Cup tournament, securing his title shot at All In Wembley Stadium.
This episode of All Elite Weekly is brought to you by my book, I Ain't Rich But I'm Good. It's not a book for rich people. It's for regular people trying to stop feeling broke every time payday hits. I talk about debt, saving money, starting small, and building financial peace without pretending life is easy. Get the book now at IAin'tRichButI'mGood.com.
Before we talk about the steel cage match, let's talk a little bit about Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. That should be a treat. Anytime we see Zack Sabre Jr., it is a treat. I'm really excited to see what we can do. I'm excited to see how Kenny Omega moves, because I think how this match goes down will ultimately determine what we see at the next pay-per-view event. Keep in mind, we have a pay-per-view event, a new pay-per-view event now that is going to happen between Forbidden Door and All In called Redemption. Why would that be the name for the next pay-per-view? Maybe that there is a small chance that it has something to do with Kenny Omega trying to redeem himself and correct something that happened earlier this year and reclaim AEW World Championship gold. I can't help but think that. I'm not the only one who thinks that. That's not an original thought that I just gave you. I know that. But it has merit. And it has merit because you know what? Those segments we've seen where Will Ospreay is icing up after his match and he's talking to Kenny Omega, we've seen some hints at something building where, okay, maybe it means nothing. Maybe it's going to be Will Ospreay and MJF like the majority of us have predicted all the way since Double or Nothing before then. But maybe it could be something else. And if it could be something else, this is how it should be. It should be Will Ospreay taking down Kenny Omega if it's not going to be MJF. I would like to see it be MJF, personally. I'm an MJF guy. But I would not be upset if somehow, some way, Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. turns into Kenny Omega getting another chance at the AEW World Championship, claiming the title, and going into Wembley Stadium to take on Will Ospreay at that main event. But we're still in the moment right now. MJF is still champion right now. So for all that to even happen, we must get through the steel cage 6-on-6 tag team match, where if Mark Briscoe wins, he gets a shot at that AEW World Championship. And this is going to be one of the most fun matches that we could possibly have on the card. Does it meet the real standards of what Forbidden Door should be or has been in the past? No, it is entirely consisting of AEW wrestlers. And while it doesn't necessarily meet the protocol or the spirit of what this pay-per-view is, it's still one of the most exciting matches on the card, and a lot of it has to do with who we're seeing in it. Team Briscoe consists of Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Konosuke Takeshita, and Darby Allin, versus MJF and the Don Callis family, which the Don Callis family members involved: Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, Jake Doyle, Kazuchika Okada, and Andrade El Idolo. Kevin Knight only got involved because MJF promised him, if they win, a chance at his world championship. So no matter how this match plays out, we're seeing MJF defend that world championship against either Mark Briscoe or Kevin Knight. I don't know who I would like to see challenge for it more, to be honest with you. Mark Briscoe, I said it before, has taken MJF to depths that we have not even seen Hangman Adam Page bring him to. There's real juice here, no matter how you look at it. And I think we're going to see some violence. I think we're going to see some blood. I think we're going to see some steel chairs. I think we're going to see some tables. I'm looking forward to just the mayhem and chaos that I know these wrestlers can provide. And realistically, this match I could see going either way. Although, I'll be honest with you, looking at these teams, not knocking anything about the conglomeration and Darby Allin, MJF and the Don Callis family makeup, they seem a lot more intimidating of a roster makeup. I would bet more on the Don Callis family. I would bet more on MJF and the Don Callis family in this match. I'll put it that way. They're just more heavy hitters, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Kyle O'Reilly is a violent artist. Konosuke Takeshita is incredible. You cannot kill Darby Allin. They have a chance. And Mark Briscoe thrives in these. Mark Briscoe thrives in these kinds of matches. So they have a real chance here. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's just what this match is going to be. This is going to be the fun match. It's going to be as close to the Anarchy in the Arena match that we saw at Double or Nothing as anything on this card, and that's what it's designed to be. It's an all-star tag team match with a bunch of guys from the roster that everyone loves, and I can't think of one person that's listed here that we're going to see that I've seen the majority of people complaining about seeing them on TV. This is going to be a lot of fun, and one element of it that we cannot overlook that I almost maybe did, Andrade El Idolo wants his title shot. Andrade El Idolo is not really lining up with what the Don Callis family has been about lately. Is this where we see Andrade El Idolo turn on the Don Callis family, stake out on his own, and challenge MJF himself for that world championship? It could be. I do feel more than anything that an Andrade El Idolo face turn is brewing. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of All Elite Weekly. Please, if you have not, give a like, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next episode.